Ahoy folks, Lazy here with another KoG deck review, this time being Karakuri. I was able to hit KoG with them before the current ban list was implemented, which is aimed at Kwakis, Buster Blader, and spellbooks, but this was prior, so they were in full force. The KoG run is linked in the description below, feel free to check it out if you like for more example duels. But as for this deck list, it's fairly similar to other Karakuri decks seen in the past, perhaps by you guys, aside from a few additions and changes to fit the current meta, or where I was lacking certain cards too. But the character used was Crow, though it only matters for the skill being level augmentation. We've got the main Karakuri cards, which can be obtained from the Revolution Beginning box, running 3 copies of Ninishi and Merchant. Ninishi allowing you to special summon another Karakuri monster in attack mode when it first is normal summoned or is initially face up on the field. It's a key card due to also being a tuner, giving you the potential to synchro into Shogun first turn. Get to that later. Merchant though allows you to search for any Karakuri card when it's normal summoned, be it monsters, spells, or traps, but specifically Karakuri type. Also have 1 copy of Nishipachi. Apologies if I derp any of these pronunciations, by the way, certainly will. When normal or special summoned, it allows you to choose 1 monster on the field and change its battle position, both face up or down. It's also a tuner and ideal in certain situations and combos. For example, being floodgated or Canadiad, you can target yourself to bring it back up, or another monster that's been floodgated on your side. Other Karakuri monsters in the deck would be KoG, which allows you to special summon 1 level 4 or lower Karakuri monster from the grave after battling and destroying an opponent's monster and sending it to their grave. Also there's Nisamu. When it's destroyed by battle, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Karakuri monster from your deck into face-up attack position. So you'd usually want to bring back Ninishi if it can survive potentially a second monster. It'd be flipped into defense due to its effect, which we'll get to. All the Karakuri monsters are meant to synchro into Shogun, which when synchro summoned allows you to special summon 1 Karakuri monster from your deck. Also once per turn, you can target 1 monster on the field and change its battle position, both face up or down monsters as well. All of the Karakuri monsters in this deck, excluding Shogun, must attack when in face-up attack position, and they all can change to defense position when targeted for an attack. It should be noted that Ninishi and KoG, when targeted for battle, also can change to attack position from defense, meaning in Ninishi's case, if it's in defense during your opponent's attack, it'll switch to attack position and take the full-on damage. The other 2 monsters in this deck would be 2 copies of Skullmeister, which during either player's turn allows you to discard this card to negate an opponent's card effect from activating in their grave. It's excellent for the current meta considering the Ancient Gears and Kwakis have their spells in the grave. Also an excellent counter to vampires and dinos, as well as plenty of other cards and decks. It was last obtainable during the DD Tower event, but can still potentially obtain them through tickets, SR tickets. I was able to grab 2 copies from the last KC Cup by the SR tickets. It may be possible this upcoming KC Cup again. There are of course replacements to some of these cards, which I'll get to shortly, though only partially tested on the ladder. Moving on, we've got 1 copy of Karakuri Cache, which gives you the ability to choose 1 face-up Karakuri monster you control and change its battle position, and also add 1 level 4 or lower Karakuri monster from your deck to your hand. Got 1 copy of Anatomy, which collects a max of 2 counters each time a Karakuri monster changes its battle position. It can be a Karakuri monster your opponent controls too. At 1 or 2, you can send this card from the field to the grave to draw that number of cards, and the final Karakuri card would be Gold Dust, which can only be activated during the battle phase and is a quick play spell. It requires 2 face-up Karakuri monsters on the field as well to work, but if there are, you can select the 2 face-up attack Karakuri monsters, change the first one to defense position, then choose the second one to gain the attack equal to the attack of the monster changed to defense until the end phase. Excellent for OTKs and saving yourself one monster from drownings or walls. Additional support in the deck would be 2 copies of Offerings to the Doomed, which can be obtained from the Stardust Acceleration box at the moment. 1 copy of Hatronade, which is in the Rampage of the Forest. 1 copy of Enemy Controller, which is easily obtained via ranked duels, dueling Kaiba, or using a ticket. And also 2 copies of Canadia, which can be obtained via a Dream Ticket or the Valiant Souls box. As for the extra deck, I've got 1 copy of Stardust, mainly for Yubel, 2 copies of Shogun, and 2 copies of Armadas, which is also an excellent synchro, as it allows you to prevent your opponent from activating cards or effects until after the damage step when attacking or being attacked. Great counter against back row and monsters like Wing Karibo or Man-Eater Bug. Can always replace 1 copy with the Giganta Castle as well, considering the current meta. As for replacements towards the back row support and such, personally I would prefer 2 Hatronades in this build, but that's why there's an enemy controller. I have heard of a number of folks not playing any Trunades too, and it could be 2 enemy controllers instead. Of course there's plenty of room for adjustments though. Say there's no Canadias, perhaps 3 copies of Offerings to the Doomed and a second Anatomy or Gold Dust. Same goes for Skullmeister. Those could be the replacements. I've also seen a few decks running Nisamu at 2. So an additional 1 in, or Kaipa. Another 4-star high attack monster could be ideal. Definitely do what you feel and find works best. This is just what ended up working for me. But that ought to cover this deck review. I appreciate you guys tuning in and I hope it was of some benefit. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll get back to you.